This is what happens when you don't do planning before your shoot. Welcome to 5 Minutes for Filmmakers. Hello, welcome to 5 Minutes for Filmmakers. I'm Mike Lakauskas with Disobedient Productions, and once again this week we're being brought to you by Florida Independent Filmmakers. This week, got a couple of really good articles off of Raindance. One's about starting up a production company, and the other's about film distribution, and they kind of go together, and I think you'll see how that worked out. So let's go ahead and roll on into that. Okay, so out on Raindance, 2 articles this time. First one is 5 tips about starting your own production company. And they're not like some comprehensive list of everything you need to do to start a production company, but it's 5 major points that you need to hit, and they go into some detail on them. The first one being create a business entity. Now remember that Raindance is out of the UK, so they're going to use terms that might not quite fit with the process in the United States, but the concepts are there and the explanations of what you're doing and why. I found that to be very helpful. The interesting part is the 5th tip is get distribution, which they then go into, yeah, that's the hardest part of the whole process and da-da-da-da-da. But then the other article is about 10 things you need to know about film distribution. And that's kind of why these 2 dovetailed in together so nicely. They go into things like explaining that you should consider things like split deal, which means, okay, so you can't get a theatrical release in North America, you can't get anybody to buy worldwide rights to your film. Hey, you know what? How about Argentina? What about New Zealand? What about India or Pakistan? There's all these other options out there to be exercised just on splitting the deal. And then it goes further down the list and talks about all kinds of different things. They talk about things like self-distribution, Netflix, and that kind of thing. And then they also get down into factors you need to consider, like it's going to take a while before you get paid, and figure out your return on investment, and just all of the business side of doing a film distributed. And the main thing I would add to it is keep in mind the fact that it's called show business. And there is a real business side to it. And you may want to present your art to audiences. But the simple reality is, if you want this thing to be seen, you need to think like a business person. They're definitely worth taking the time to go out and give it a read and see what they've got to say. Out on The Hollywood Reporter, there is an article about how women have it tougher than men in Hollywood. And they've got interviews with several well-known female players in the business. Ann Faris, Patricia Arquette, Tia Leone. And they go into about a paragraph each about their experience and what they feel is inequitable in the system and the way the system works differently for them and for minorities than it does for the average white male actor. Realistically, when female actors are paid only 73 cents to the dollar that a male actor makes for performing in the same show, that's inequitable and that's not sustainable, and that is not the way you run a successful industry. Things need to get a little bit more balanced. People need to understand that value is value, the show is the show. Don't worry about gender, don't worry about race, don't worry about any of that. Let's just deal with the business and get forward. On the local side, if you're watching this and you haven't submitted your film to MIFF yet, hey, you're screwed. Deadline passed on the 4th. If you did get it in, you should hear whether or not yours is going to be accepted by about the middle of September. Once again, thank you all so very much for joining us here. We really do appreciate all of you viewing. If you think we missed something that should have been called out this week, let us know. We'll be sure and get that on next week's show. Also, if you have any comments to make, please leave them below or email me directly, mike@disobedientproductions.com, and I'll respond to that just as quickly as possible. Once again, this has been 5 Minutes for Filmmakers. I'm Mike Lakauskas with Disobedient Productions. Please keep filming.